Terry, what you
What's
doing
going
on
on?
this fine Sunday afternoon, I should say?
Well, we had a little tease of rain, so it dropped like 15 degrees, and then all of a sudden, now clouds broke, sun came through, back to the hot winds again.
Oh, nice. We've been having pop-up thunderstorms every day for the last week. I
I would
appreciate
love
that
that.
because the it keeps the temperature below 90, but the
Yeah,
humidity, it's
we.
it's
I wish I
ruthless.
could get that. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't want this humidity.
I'm used to humidity. I've been to many different countries with really bad humidity. Philippines being the worst. I'm pretty sure I can manage that one.
80%.
Yeah, it's worse over there. It's about 90% humidity over there after it rains.
I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, so
Ain't want no part of that.
I got used to
So
Korea too.
so we had a big event this weekend, and I have to congratulate you.
Um,
As a UCLA Bruin fan, you had the number one overall draft pick in the Major League Draft.
oh, yes.
Mr. Rock Chalowski.
Well, congrats to him. I wish him all the best, and as well as all the other um, draft picks, and hopefully they could move up or just be successful right away.
But I do have to wonder, though, do you think Manfred had his mind on last night's UFC event?
I think so. He's probably one of the ones that lost money betting on Connor.
He may have, because the way he said Rock Chalowski's name sounded a lot like Conor McGregor. Chalowski. I thought, what is he doing here? He's had a full year that this kid has been projected to be 1-1 in the draft, and he can't get his name right.
That was correct. That was definitely a lot of upset people from that after that fight.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of a deal where his retirement should have happened a little bit earlier, but here we are. You have scheduled another interview for today. Go ahead and tell us about it. Introduce our guest.
so our guest here, we've dipped into the Division III level college baseball, and this is a private university, a Baptist university in Marshall, Texas. I made a mistake earlier saying a different town, but Marshall, Texas, and we have the head coach of their baseball team, Mr. Jared Hood of the East Texas Baptist University Tigers. So please welcome to the show, Coach Hood.
There he is.
Good,
Welcome to
good
the
evening,
show, Coach.
gentlemen. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
So,
We appreciate having you here and joining us this Sunday evening.
already getting some comments over here.
I know the first one, and he's right about that one too. I remember
Kuwait.
this particular day. It was the needles, the little thermometers you see on the side of the building. The whole thing was red, and it was like reading 150. And it was so
Wow.
muggy outside. Like you take the cold water was scorching hot. The hot water was even worse. It's like I was in a bowl of soup or something. Or it was you go outside, then the wind's kicking up. And before I even get back to the tent, because it was so sticky in the air, I looked like a thing from Fantastic Four, and it's like I got pissed off because like the shower was pointless at that point. So
Wow.
at that point, it was just best to just stay in the tent and do a baby wipe little shower.
Maybe find a fan or something.
Oh, I mean, we had AC in the tent. It was good up until the point it broke in the middle of the night, and
Oh,
it
that
still
would
get
not be
like
fun.
110 at night and stuff.
You got Nicky Anderson talking about a lot of Longview kids going to East Texas Baptist. So they're looking forward to this being a good interview. Former College World Series assistant coach at Cal State Fullerton, Jody Robinson, a friend of the show. He says, learn the names of the number 1 pick.
Was he at Fullerton as well?
Coach Robinson, yes, he was an assistant at Fullerton.
Okay. Because I remember also seeing, was it Cal State Bakersfield as well?
Yep. Yeah, Jody Robinson was an assistant coach under Augie out there at Fullerton. So he was with some good people. Sharia, Rai. Okay.
That's one of my buddies there.
Was them. Dean from the Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports Show is in here tonight. He says hello. Let's see. It's muggy out there where he's at today. I believe he's in Oklahoma, lives out there. He might still be in California. I'm not sure. But you got some good comments going already. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off, Terry. You want to have him take the floor for a minute, or do you want me to give him the floor?
Yeah, whichever.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do it. So, Coach, we have a baseball group on Facebook. It's called College Baseball Smack. We are live in there tonight, as we are on Twitter and YouTube. Some people might not know anything about Jared Hood or East Texas Baptist. So we're going to give you the floor for just a few minutes. Introduce yourself to the people watching. Tell us who you are and how you got to be where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, my name is Jared Hood, and I was born and raised here in Marshall, Texas, small northeast Texas town, about 45 miles from Shreveport, Louisiana. Played football at Marshall High School, played baseball, ran track, did all that good stuff, and decided I was going to be pretty good at baseball. And I signed to Division I out of high school. Didn't quite work out at that level for me. So I got some experience at the junior college level. Played at Hill Junior College for a year and a half, and then actually finished my career at the University of Texas at Tyler when they were NCAA Division III. My last year at UT Tyler had an injury that was going to take me away from playing anything after graduation. So finished out the year and got into coaching and started out the junior college level. Was doing some cool things there and getting some guys signed and sending them to bigger schools and bigger places. And and then all of a sudden you get married and decide to start a family. And and my wife is the real hero when it comes to everything that we've got going on here. And so she got a job opportunity back here in East Texas, and making a whole lot more money than I was making at the time. And so we decided to move back home, and it's kind of crazy. The the week that we moved back in Marshall, the assistant coaching job at ETBU opened up, and so applied and got the job, and spent 2 years here as the assistant coach. And in the spring of 2015 was my first season as the head coach here, and we've been rolling and figuring it out ever since.
Okay. That's fantastic. It's funny how life changes will affect your path every once in a while. Obviously getting married and the wife taking a job. We actually have a friend of the show, Coach Hamsley over at Roane State Community College here in Tennessee. Good friend of the show. His wife completed her education, ended up being the assistant nutritional director at the University of Tennessee, shared her services with 15 different programs on campus, and the assistant coach at UCF took a job at Providence, and because of her connections was recommended to be the lead dietitian for the Providence men's basketball team. She accepted the position. So now Coach Hamsley has got to resign from coaching the JUCO team here and is looking for work up in the Northeast now. So it's neat how you mentioned that because it's relatable to us here at the show.
She so my wife Madison, she graduated law school, and she's just got a she's got a really big heart, a servant heart, and she went into the prosecution side of things, and she's been, the first assistant DA here in Harrison County, and where Marshall's located, for the past, 7 or 8 years, and actually ran unopposed for this upcoming election. So here this next December, January, she'll be rolling into the DA spot, and doing a really good job of that. So I can't wait to see how her career unfolds, and just really proud of the job and the work that she does on a daily basis. So it just puts things into perspective, right? Like whenever I come home and I'm griping and complaining about these baseball players and things like that, and you know very easily forget the things that she sees on a daily basis, and it just really puts things in perspective. So she's the real hero.
So, Terry, I'm going to give you the floor and let you start throwing some questions.
All right. So the way we do things on the show, like with our set questions, I usually like to focus on primarily recruiting, rivalries, and like education, everything. And Chris goes more into the philosophy. Then, we eventually get to the food questions and lighter side of things. But so your Division III, it's a private university. I know recruiting's a lot more, I guess, challenging, you would say. And would you care to explain why that is?
Yeah, so at the NCAA Division III level, we don't have athletic scholarships, and so and then you're getting kids to come check your school out, to talk about the program and things like that, and so there's a really big push for the whole experience, right? And we don't want to just push primarily baseball and what we can do athletically. It's got to be more about what the next 4 years is going to look like for that kid, and so that comes with some things, right? Tuition's expensive, right? Going to school is expensive, and but our university does a fantastic job of packaging kids academically. We can subsidize scholarships in the form of some Christian leadership stuff and things like that. So I think with us, it's just a way that we're able to really fine point the type of kids that we're going after, and make sure that kids are really looking for the total experience here when they come to ETBU.
Now, when we talked earlier on the phone, it sounded like it's kind of a similar scenario as I mentioned with Bob Jones University over in South Carolina, where their focus also, besides baseball, there's also, they say, the proclamation of faith. Was it safe to say that's the same aspect for East Texas Baptist University?
So it's not a requirement to be a believer to come to East Texas Baptist, and I think that really kind of sets us apart. Right now, obviously, we're going to push the Christian aspect of things, and our faith and our belief is the spearhead of everything that we do, whether that's on the baseball field, in the dorms, in the community, in our relationships with each other and all that. But I tell kids all the time that come here and sit in my office, there's two types of kids that come to school here. There's those that are really on fire for the Lord, and they're really comfortable in where they're at in their walk, and they come here looking for opportunities to continue their growth and for opportunities to impact others, right? And then you've got a group of guys that may or may not be believers, right? And that's okay. And maybe baseball is that avenue for them to come here and to get immersed into an experience and to be impacted by, one of their teammates or somebody within the university system, to where maybe they get enough information to be able to make that decision for themselves. So we don't discriminate, between believers and non-believers, but we do not apologize for our mission statement and what we're here to do.
And I mean, you never should either. Now, I'll just get this one out of the way because I know people with education. What's like one of the main degrees you can get at East Baptist that's not necessarily affiliated with religion when someone's looking to achieve their degree?
Right. Yeah. So majority of our players right now that we've got on roster are business majors. And so they can come here, get a business degree, and and a lot of dudes are going that route right now. And we've got an MBA that we can tack on at the end of their career. And so my hope is that those guys can come to college, get their undergrad done in 4 years, and then have an opportunity to get their master's degree that 5th year, and really roll into their profession. I would say the next biggest opportunity that we've had with degrees is the kinesiology degree. We produce a lot of coaches, we produce a lot of teachers, personal trainers. We've had some guys move on from here and go to PT school and things like that. But also communication and in our criminal justice department, do really well with our guys too.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here real quick. Nick Anderson has commented, "You've been very successful at East Texas Baptist. Considering how young you are, and we know that Coach Schlossnagel is kind of getting up there in age. He's been around Omaha a few times over the last 10 or 15 years. Mm-hmm. Can Longhorn fans look forward to you possibly putting in to coach them when Schlossnagel decides to hang it up?"
Well, if the University of Texas calls me, then we'll have that conversation. But look, and I think we're going to be fortunate enough to be able to see some slideshows and pictures of some things that I've sent over as far as our campus goes and our facilities. It's a lot bigger than that for me. I believe that certain things have happened in my life, and the trajectory of the timeline has happened to where the only explanation for me being here and in being the position that we have is like strategically placed by God himself. Right. And right now, I've got 3 young kids at the house. I've got a wife who's, about to, like, her career is about to explode, and she's doing a fantastic job, and I'm very well taken care of here. So right now at this point in time, like, there's no reason for me to leave. Now, obviously, University of Texas is a big time job and things like that. So, that'd have to have a conversation for sure.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair enough. That's a fair enough answer right now. Never say never, but not in your current path or vision.
That's right. That's right.
But if that were to happen, we hope to have you on the show with Longhorn Skirons.
Yeah. I'm sure I could pencil you guys in with a little bit of burn orange going on there. Yeah.
So I was looking at the history of East Texas. Prior to you getting a job, they weren't very successful under the previous coaching. You've turned this thing into a juggernaut. Let's be real. It's a juggernaut. It reminds me of a lot of what Coach Corwin did at Vanderbilt. Took over the program, 28 consecutive losing years, and all of a sudden they're a national power. And that's what you've done there at East Texas. How did it feel this year, knowing where you started at, to get to the World Series and take down the number 1 overall seed and beat them in your first game at the World Series this year? Considering where you started to that moment, how did that feel?
Well, eh, so it was a little bit different because this was our second trip to the College World Series at the Division III level. Um, so there was some familiar things there, and I think having that experience before really put us as a coaching staff in a really good spot um, to understand, how to communicate that to our players. In facing Denison, number one overall seed, I think they were on a 41, 42 game bender or something like that, right? So we knew that we had to be playing our best baseball, and when we entered the tournament there at the World Series, I mean, we were firing on all cylinders, and our guys were ready, and it was a really good baseball game that was played. Our horse Isaac Thornton on the mound. I think he went 140, 145 pitches against Denison, and they didn't really have any answer for him at that point in time. Now they're outstanding ball club. Coach Deegan is an absolute stud, and those guys are, as advertised. I mean, they were really really good and talented club, and they deserve to win the national championship. But to answer your question, I mean, it's just, you put your nose to the grindstone, and you do it with some phenomenal kids, and you go and you try to accomplish some things, and to kind of see it come into fruition, all your hard work and the dedication that these kids put in every single day, your coaching staffs that you put in every single day to be in a conversation with a program like Denison. I mean, it was just it was awesome. It was a phenomenal feeling.
Okay. And wanted to give you a shout out. Jody Robinson is taking note of you. Big time accomplishment, being named the American Baseball Coaches Association Region 10 Coaching Staff of the Year for the third time. Again, tell us what that means to you.
It's an incredible honor. It's an incredible honor. And for me, what that means is that, number one, um, you surrounded yourself with a phenomenal staff, and guys um, that don't mind going to war for you, right? Our recruiting coordinator, Tanner Matthews, also handles our pitching. I mean, this guy goes and finds kids all over the country, to come in and to compete for us. Um, our hitting coach Connor Anderson has done just a phenomenal job with our offensive club. And guys like Ethan Wood with our defensive stuff produced an NCAA Gold Glove award winner this year. So it's not just, I know it says, Jared Hood on the award or whatever, but just it takes a village, right? And you've got to surround yourself with good coaches, and ultimately good players. But yes, just a phenomenal honor to receive that award.
And congrats to that too.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to ask one more before I turn it back over to Terry. Mayala wants to know, is there any chance of ETBU moving up to D2, considering the momentum that you've built in the program?
Um, at this point in time, no, there is not. We are very comfortable with our Division III model in our mission statement for Division III. Our university and our school have, I mean, the trajectory of this university is phenomenal. And we're constantly adding new sports. Our enrollments at record enrollment every single year, it seems like, and so we're really comfortable in where we're at and what we have going on. So I think the Division II deal, I think that starts to, you know, I'm not going to say cloud the mission or the vision and what we have going on, but with the Division III model and what we have going on, we can really be totally transparent and honest with these kids, with what we have, and it doesn't, you know, put everybody in the box of whether they're good at baseball or not, right? And and we can focus more on developing relationships and the total package of their experience.
Okay, so I'm confused with who this is here. Let's see. Show. There we go. If you're still watching, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who Trey McAllister is, or if you could comment. So I'm like, I've never seen the name before. So I'm sorry. I know as your uncle, I should know better, but let's see. We got Nick Anderson here with a quick comment. This is what challenges has he faced retaining talent with all his success in the era of NIL?
All right. Yeah, that's a great question. So, as far as the transfer portal goes like that, the transfer portal has actually helped us a lot more than it's hurt us. With being able to bring in kids from Division I, Division II, and other Division III programs, and I feel totally confident with the environment in which we're trying to create here at ETBU to where kids don't want to leave, and I feel like if we can definitely get them for 2 years and immerse into our environment and our atmosphere, then the likelihood that we're going to have them for the rest of their collegiate experience is very high. So yeah, great question.
All right, we've got the mystery solved here. How you doing, Noah? It's my nephew up in Buffalo.
Okay.
So it's just getting into college ball, so learning as he hears.
Okay, so let me throw something at you, Coach.
Yes,
so you took over in 2014. It took you until 2023 to win your 200th game. And then less than 2 years later, you added another 100 wins to it to pick up your 300th win. The speed in which you got that third 100 less than 2 years. How'd you do it?
Just kept waving runners home, honestly. So the trajectory of the program is very similar to the trajectory of our institution and university. So we had, when I first took over, in 14, the school was basically in the same position it was when I graduated high school out of Marshall in 2005. And there just wasn't a whole lot of development, not a whole lot of changing going on. And it was very fortunate to have an administrative change right there in 2015, 2016. We had made a run in the conference tournament, found ourselves in our first conference championship. We had a new president, Dr. Blackburn, who had come in and was upgrading facilities, was painting a vision for not only athletics but the university as a whole, and doing a really, really good job of putting ETBU on the map. Not only in the state of Texas but nationally, and we just happened to kind of be on the rise as he came in. Now, as we continued forward, and now all of a sudden, baseball is getting some facility upgrades. The school is in a totally different spot than what they were before, and so when you got to 2022, 2023, when we made that first push to the College World Series, um, you know new baseball stadium that we were playing in, new locker room that we had, and we could show, recruits and our, current guys could see, and something to be proud of, right? And so, yeah, I mean, right at that peak there, things just started to continue to roll, and happened at a rapid rate. That is for sure.
Okay, so I understand that you sent some images to Terry. So I'm going to let Terry take over and let you guys walk through the imagery that you sent, and enjoy the show.
Before we do that, I have a question, because obviously if you're going to get upgrades like this or have nice facilities, which we're about to show the people, obviously you got to raise some funds of some sort. You still there, Coach Hood? I think he froze.
Yeah, you got me?
Okay, there we go. I was like, man, you can sit really still.
Okay.
But so we need funds, raise funds, however the case may be. Now, the quick question is, with public universities and private universities, is there certain restrictions when it comes to raising funds to accomplish these upgrades? And like, what's the difference between them, real quick?
I'm not an expertise on that question. I'm pretty sure with the public schools and things like that, right? Whatever the the mother school is, right? Whether it's the University of Texas system or if it's the Texas A&M school system, right? Then a lot of those shots are made through those school systems. With East Texas Baptist, right, or schools like ours, a lot of it is privately funded. A lot of fundraising going on and things like that. So, when it comes to our facility upgrades and those things, I was told that my job is to coach baseball, not to raise money. And so one of the things that I appreciate so much about our administration and specifically Dr. Blackburn and our athletic director Ryan Irwin is they take that responsibility upon themselves, to upgrade our facilities and to create an experience for our athletes, and that takes pressure off of me as a coach, to be able to focus on winning baseball games.
All right, so we're going to start off with this first set of slides, and talk us through it. This is all pictures you got from your weight room. So here we go.
Yeah, so that is our Maxwell Strength Center. That is where our athletic teams get to work out, and obviously we, schedule days throughout the week based on their class schedule. They're with our strength and conditioning coach, Coach Mike Pappas, and so our guys have 4 days a week with a strength and conditioning coach. The good thing about the Division III model is that we do not have to count our strength and conditioning times into our hours of practice, right? So for example, Coach Pappas from the first week of school to the last week of school has essentially unlimited access to our athletes to be able to develop them physically. And as you can see, it's just a phenomenal facility to be able to do that. So,
I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't expect to see this from, I guess, probably any level of Division III, but this is, like I said, this is phenomenal stuff. And
so this is our rec center here on campus, and so this is open to the general student body, and anybody can go in there and work out, but kind of going back to the Maxwell and what that does is it creates an environment of guys understanding how important it is for their physical development. Now, a lot of times when we're in here, and I'm talking about us as a coaching staff, we're going and getting a lift in the rec center here. The Dean Healthplex. There's guys always coming in there to get extra lifts in and get extra work in, and so that's just something I really appreciate about our guys is they understand how important their physicality is to their development.
now, is this in the same building as the previous pictures, or is it a separate building?
This is a separate building. This building is actually located behind home plate of our baseball field.
Oh, wow.
In this facility, it houses a lot of athletic coaches. It's got some kinesiology classrooms in there, and then the rest of our athletic department locker rooms, as well as our men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and acro and tumbling competitive gym.
Do another picture, and we got another question here for Monique Ayala. Is there a nutrition aspect to this facility?
Yeah, that's a great question. Not in this facility specifically. A lot of that comes from communication with the athletes. With East Texas Baptist being a private school, right? So all of our undergraduates stay on campus. And so with that comes meal plans through the cafeteria that they use. And based off of the food options in the cafeteria, we can get with our guys and communicate them with them their best options as far as the nutrition available for them to be able to build their bodies.
All right, we've got a question here real quick before we move to the next set of slides that I'm excited to show. So what kind of strength and conditioning regimen do you all put your players through? Are they told to avoid certain things, or do they get free reign of what they want to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one thing about Coach Pappas that I appreciate so much about is that everything that we do in our strength and conditioning times is also baseball sport specific. Now that doesn't mean that it's easy, right? But um, I make it very clear to recruits that come in. We are not a powerlifting team, and we're not a track team, right? Our job is to get better, to be better baseball players, and but the world of strength and conditioning has changed so much, even from when I was a player. When I was a player, right, like you'd go in and you'd load 400 pounds on the squat rack and see lift it until you fell out, right? And but now the technique comes in, and the reasoning behind lifting and what you're trying to accomplish in the weight room. There's a method behind it. So in our strength and conditioning times, Coach Pappas is pretty protective of what he's trying to do and put our guys through in order for them to be able to compete on the diamond. Now, if they come over to the Dean Healthplex and they want to lift in the rec center, we kind of joke a little bit, and that's when they're able to work on their beach bodies most of the time. So, but yeah, they'll go in there, and to be honest with you, if guys want to bench, I want them to bench. If they want to squat heavy, I want them to squat heavy. I want these guys to build their bodies to be as physically as we possibly can, because when you're talking about the length of a college baseball season, I mean, your body goes through it, and we want to make sure that we're at peak condition all the way throughout.
All right, we got another facility related question here from Noah. It says, are the medical rooms for the players, if injured, a part of these facilities as well, or is it like a separate area you'd have to go to?
No, that's a great question. Yeah, so we have two athletic training facilities on campus. There is one that is located in that building right behind home plate. So let's just say if our guys need to get some treatment before practice started, they'll just walk right in through the door and get their treatment, whether that's cupping or dry needling or some kind of stem or whatever, and then walk right out to the field to be able to compete. There is another athletic training facility down at football. Um, um, and on Mondays we'll have our team doctor on campus. So if anybody's got any really extensive injuries, they're able to get looked at there on campus. Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay, so I got a question about the workout regimen real quick. So the last few years, I don't think it was so much so a factor this year as it has been like last year with LSU and the year before with Tennessee, and the year before that with LSU. You see these guys in Omaha at the World Series playing in the national championships, and you can tell they've been working out. These guys have not missed leg day at all. They have tree trunks.
That's right.
On their bottom. Is that something that you want to see in your program, or is that something that's up to the player individually?
Well, listen, my mindset is like how you do one thing is how you're going to do everything, right? And so for us here, right, our strength and conditioning times and our practice times, those are the bare minimum, right? If you want bare minimum results, then you're more than welcome to do just the bare minimum. Um, and here's my another nod to Denison, right? When we played those guys, um, it was very evident, right, that the weight room is important to them as well, right? I mean, you just looked at those guys and they were just, just extremely physical and just big dudes, right? And so for me and for our program, I feel very fortunate that that's been one of the separators that we've been able to have throughout the past 10 years or so, is that typically when we roll a team out, I mean, ultimately we're gonna be more physical than the other team in the other dugout. And I think that's kind of a badge of honor, right? And like in this game's hard, and you can't always look at the final score on the scoreboard, right? You've got to win other aspects, and the weight room for us is going to be one of those aspects that has to be a W all the time. And so when you speak like this and it's a consistent message, right? Then it becomes part of who you are, and it becomes part of your DNA, ingrained in your team. And so like it's because of that. I mean, we lift from the first week of the season. We lift during the off season. Obviously, we lift in the spring during season, and I want to lift on game days. I just want it to be part of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish.
Awesome answer there, Terry. I'm going to let you get back to the slideshow. I'm enjoying this. These are some fantastic facilities. I'm anxious to see more.
All right, so we're a quick shout out. I know you can't see the numbers currently, Coach, but we got 108 people tuning in live currently, watching
Dude,
live.
that's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Got a couple comments here. Ann Friedman. I don't know if anyone knows her. No? Well, thank you for tuning in, Ann.
Yeah, thanks, Ann. Thank you, Ann.
Now, this one I know. This is actually my older sister here commenting. Hello, Christina. Love you. Mwah. Now, these next set of pictures, Chris, when I say tell me what you notice, I want, like, when I get to the pictures itself, see if you notice what I'm thinking. So it's not this one, but hold on. All right, Chris, close your eyes for a second. I got to go back to the beginning somehow. Okay. So this ain't the picture, but this is like one of the entrances inside the facility there. Great verse. All right. This next one, Chris, tell me what's one thing you noticed.
Blue and individual lockers for each player.
Yes, but look at the lighting on top in the ceiling there.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
So the lighting's representing the stitching of a baseball.
Okay. That's unique. I like that.
That was the first thing I noticed whenever I saw these. It was like, I looked and I'm like, oh, okay, that's like we're basically looking at a baseball setup on top. So I'm like, that was really nice. And again, this one, it's like something you would see in a, bigger, what people say, a bigger university, and it's phenomenal. Again,
I'm going to stop you right there, Terry. I know you're a guy from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. You're not used to facilities this nice over there. This is something you'd see in the SEC. I'm not even going to lie.
I'll talk about Division III. Division III schools will you see like this? Monique commenting again. Now, next, you'd like to tell us a little bit. What was this recently redone or?
Okay, so with our new facility upgrades, first they took care of the stadium, right? Because there was a period of time there between 2015 and 2021, 2022, to where we didn't even have stands. We didn't have bleachers at the field. And so we got a league gift to help kind of jumpstart that operation. to take care of the stadium itself. And so as we got a little bit further along and the school was continuing to grow and things like that, we were running out of dorm space um, for our students. So um, Billy and Winky Foot Hall is our newest addition on campus, and it houses male and female students on the second and third floor of this building. And so what you're looking at right here, this is the first floor of the building. It is all baseball, with baseball locker room, coaches' offices, the recruiting room, which I'm in right now. It's called the Tiger Den, and it's just an unbelievable facility here. And so um, we've got 55 lockers in that locker room. And the awesome thing about that, as I'm sure you can imagine, is that this is the initial meeting place for all of our players, right? When you talk about, um, developing relationships and getting to meet each other, I mean, this is where it all, initiates from. And so from the first week of school, we'll give all their guys, they'll have their locker already in place. We'll open up this facility. They've got a little touch code on there to where they have 24-hour access to it. And they come in there and put their gear in their locker. And so what I like about it is that throughout the week, if they're coming out to the yard to get some work in or whatever, they've got to walk by the coaches' offices to get into the locker room to get their gear. They go in, they might see somebody that, maybe they haven't met yet, or maybe they haven't, you know, had a really good relationship with and get to talk to those guys and meet those guys. But, and then they head out to the yard to get their work in. So it's just a way for all of us to be together a lot more than maybe we would in a smaller facility.
Well, next picture here, and like I said, I love the whoever came up with that design on top is genius. The whole baseball stitching look.
Yeah, so that was all Dr. Blackburn. All of this design here was done by Dr. Blackburn himself. And so like I said, he's a huge baseball advocate, huge athletics advocate, especially in a smaller school. I think at one point in time, I think we were 54% student body that were athletes. So it's very important to the growth of our institution. And then for guys to have a facility like this to call home, man, it's top notch. And I want these guys in here on the weekends watching college football. I want them watching NFL games in here. Texas Ranger versus Houston Astros rivalries, are big time in here. So it's just a really, really good way to start that culture and to initiate that.
Maybe we have Boss Man tuning in there. Now it's two more pictures, I believe. This one. You want to tell us a little quick thing about this display here?
Yeah, so that displays our Super Regional Trophy from 2026, also our conference regular season and tournament trophies from this year. As you see, our championship rings there in the middle. In the process of currently designing our fourth one. So a lot of cool stuff going on. But, when we bring recruits into this room, right, that has to be the centerpiece, and being able to, tell kids and show kids that, hey, we're here to play championship baseball and to compete on the national stage it's a big piece of the puzzle there. That has to be a wow factor. And so you see the old style mitt and the baseball books and things like that. Again, that was all Dr. Blackburn's doing and his vision for this facility.
And we can finally say we solved the mystery. We found Chris's missing glove.
So I do have a recommendation for the table.
Okay.
This one? Okay.
Make it a little bit bigger round. Make it a little bit taller and shape the bottom of it kind of like a ball.
Okay.
Put some baseball, make the color white with the baseball stitching on it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like that. Yeah.
I like that. Make it look like a baseball sitting there with all that hardware on it, right?
There you go. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I'll run that up to the big boss and I'll let you know what he said.
You said this is the
So this is called what we call the Tiger Den, and
okay.
and basically it's our recruiting room, meeting room for coaches and in small groups for players. But so essentially, when we bring recruits on campus, we'll sit them down. I've got a highlight video that we play that kind of recaps the year before, and playing in really big games and dog piles and celebrations and things like that, right? So, you know, incoming prospective student athletes get to see how our guys play and the energy that in which we want to play with, and it just sets a really good tone for a really intimate one-on-one conversation with incoming students and their families, and so just a very very good meeting space to have.
All right, we've got a question here, real quick though. And this actually bring me up to a follow up question afterward, unless Chris wants to ask it first. But this is from Ann. So curious if anyone got drafted by chance out of East Texas Baptist or anything.
Not this year, not yet. We've had a guy get some. He got some love earlier in the year. We'll kind of see how that materializes later on, but he does have an opportunity, whether he gets drafted or not, to go play some independent ball. And so that's be a great opportunity for him. We did have a draft pick in 2016. Tyler Bates was a center fielder for us. He was the type of kid. I mean, he was an all-American football player, all-American baseball player. 6'4", 6'5" runner, hit 15, 16 home runs. His senior year when he was here, just a really special talent. And then we had a catcher drafted out of here in 2019, Casey Combs. His development. I mean, he was always a really good catch and throw guy, one of the top catchers in the country. And then his last year, I think he was like a 380, 390 hitter and 16, 17 home runs. So yeah, it's really, big tools for a catcher to have. So, but yeah, still waiting on the third one.
Okay.
And says it's coming, so stay tuned.
All right, I like that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a breather, relax a little bit, Coach.
Okay.
We're gonna pay some bills real quick. We're gonna take about a 1-minute break, and when we come back, I'm gonna change gears a little bit. We're gonna start having some fun with this thing. How's that sound?
That sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Okay. And there you have it. Our sponsor, Cocaine Coffee. If you really want to make a difference in the world of coffee, in Colombia, their number one crop used to be the coca plant, which is used for nefarious things. However, this company, Cocaine Coffee, is turning those coca fields into coffee fields and trying to legitimize the exports out of Colombia. great opportunity to support something fantastic to make good things happen. Go visit cocainecoffee.com. Use the promo code Villains15 for 15% off your order. And with that, Coach, do you drink coffee?
Religiously, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's flip this a little bit. Let's take it back out on the field.
Okay.
Are you a dip guy, a seed guy, or a gum guy?
Yeah. So with so we've got an all turf field. So seeds and gum are out of the question. So yeah, I've got to bite my lip, man, and and get those seeds when we get off the field.
I got you. Do you have a specific seed that you go to when you're off the field?
Yeah, bigs are it's kind of my deal. The giant seeds are always really good. With those, they're not just going to absolutely destroy the insides of your mouth, and to where you can kind of keep gnawing on them through the day.
So the reason I ask that, we do have another sponsor, but we don't have a video for it. We are sponsored by Chinook Seedery.
I was going to say Chinook, yeah.
The best seeds on the market. Again, if you go to chinookseeds.com, use your promo code Golden Broom, get 10% off your order. So if you want some seeds, go ahead and get you some, order you some coffee at the same time. You'd be helping us out, and you'd be getting some fantastic products. But Nick Anderson asked a question. What kind of fan participation do you have in the home games? Do you have a Vandy Whistler type of fan? Basically, someone is in the crowd based off of what they do and how they act.
That's a great question. Not a Whistler per se, but Miss Debbie Rogers is a she works in our student engagement building, and she's a huge athletics fan, and so she's always at the games yelling and cheering for the guys. But as far as our fan engagement and things like that, I mentioned, our student population. Most of them are athletes, right? So they're all the athletes are always at each other's events and cheering each other on, which is great. The other thing that we do here at ETBU is, we try to do right around 500 hours of community service work just through the baseball team. And so we get our guys out into the community. I want these guys to be present. I want them to be grounded in this community. I want them to develop relationships into this community. And so what that does is, whether it's little kids or if it's, grown folks, and, they have those personal relationships with our guys, and then they come out and support them on the weekends. So it makes it for just a really, really cool experience.
Okay. So me and Terry, I don't know if you can tell by the video or not, but we love to eat. I mean, food is our life.
Yeah.
I might not look like it, but I'm a pretty large guy myself. I just bought this shirt in Florida last week, and it's 2X, and it ain't. I'm not swimming in it. Let's put it that way. We're gonna take a trip. I'm gonna meet him up somewhere around Dallas or something. We're gonna come on out to Marshall and come spend a day with you to get to know you, tour the facilities, hang out, just have a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to know, are you going to host us at your house? And if you do, are you cooking for us? Are we ordering out? Or are we going to go out to eat somewhere? What's on the menu?
Now, so if we're doing that, then you got to come out to the house, and I'm definitely cooking. The best present my wife got me was a smoker, and so I love to cook, and whether that's some baby backs putting on the smoker, or throwing a big old flat iron on there. Yeah, I'll treat you guys right for sure.
You said flat iron, and you had me, Coach. I'm not going to lie. The flat iron is literally
it's the best.
My favorite cut of steak. It's the
best.
If it's cooked right. You can
Yes,
cut that steak
it's
with a
the
fork.
absolute best. Yes, sir.
Um, is there anything that the wife's going to make us for dessert?
Ooh, to be honest with you, when I was leaving the house to come up here, um, she had the stuff on the counter to make a cherry icebox pie. So, little graham cracker crust and
Uh-huh.
and things like that. So yeah, there might be something there.
Okay, okay.
Trip. Quarterback.
Now you're talking our language. I got you, Terry. Go ahead.
I'm going to Marshall.
Come on, baby.
Um, he talked to you a lot about NIL and academics and stuff of that nature.
Mhm.
Um, in 2024, your team received the American Baseball Coaches Academic Award with a 3.39 GPA.
Mhm.
Do you have a personal goal that you set for your team that, hey, we want we want you as a team to reach this number in your GPA? Or is that something you leave up to the kids and let them do their thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wouldn't say that we put a target number on our GPA. I've got some really smart kids, but then I've got some guys that struggle academically, right?
Mhm.
And for us, it's all about personal development, okay? And I don't think a lot of that sometimes can be measured in a GPA stance.
Mhm.
And we've gotten a lot of transfers and things like that, and kids that come into school doing really well. The last thing that I want to do to them is, put a leash on those guys and put them in a babysitting type of atmosphere, right? So
Mhm.
I give our transfers a little bit more leeway. One thing that we do is an academic coaching session with incoming freshmen.
Mhm.
And what I've found is that, especially here in Texas, senior years are pretty, relaxed, and they've got late arrival, they've got early release, and not taking the same workload that they've had the past couple of years, and then they get into their freshman year of college and just get absolutely slammed with new stuff. And I know me as a young man, when I was 17, 18 years old, when I was struggling with stuff like that, like instead of working harder or figuring it out, I would just freeze, right? And so with these academic coaching sessions, we try to help them with their time management skills. And so we bring in their syllabus, and we go with them, day by day, weekly, of really a plan of attack for how they're going to get all of their assignments done and turn them in on time and things like that. And so working with the freshmen really that first semester, I think that gives them the tools that they need to really be successful through the rest of their academic career. Now, obviously, if you've got a guy that's, if you're checking grades online or whatever, and you've got a guy that's struggling, that puts me in a point of intervention then, and we can get them some tutoring or find them a study group to get a part of or things like that. So, but yeah, our guys have done really well academically. I think this last year we finished with like a 3.56, I think it was.
Okay.
And so that ABCA Team Academic Award, we've gotten it every year since 2016, and it's kind of a badge of honor for our guys, and really proud of the work that they put in on the academic
Okay.
side.
Okay. So one of the things that we like to do, we like to look at food at specific stadiums. Terry did a deep dive at BYU, and they have, what was it called, the Cougar Tail at BYU.
Yeah. It's a Cougar
So
Tail, which is basically an 18-inch maple bar donut.
Wow.
what what is the specialty at East Texas Baptist in the concession stand? What is the must get item there?
Yeah, well, so if there's any room for improvement, that's probably on the concessions uh, side of things. But for me, going to the ballpark, you can't beat a good hot dog. And if you can find you a good dog, chances are you're going to have a pretty good day. So if it was up to me, going out, getting a hot dog, that'd be great. We do one of our sponsorships here is through Dairy Queen. So some things that we've had in the past is they'll come out and and they're actually carrying a cooler full of blizzards, handing them out to the folks in the stands, and they've done some cool things with some taco trucks and coffee trucks coming through and being in the parking lot through the game. So yeah, there's always stuff like that going on.
So you mentioned Dairy Queen. I
Mm,
grew up in a small Southwest Iowa farming community called Denison. It's
okay.
about 70 miles from Omaha. They literally have the number one profit Dairy Queen in the world. There's nothing like it. So I love the Dairy Queen. I'm there for it. You'll have to let me know when they're doing that promotion, and I'll be there.
All right, let's do it.
Um, when it comes to philosophy, you see a lot of stuff these days about bat flips and pimping home runs. Granted, they're having fun, but there has to be a limit on that.
Mm.
Now, when it comes to your coaching philosophy, do you prefer a long path through the zone that generates more base hits and doubles, or do you like the launch angle aspect where you're just launching bombs all the time? And if you are launching bombs, where's your line at as far as celebrations?
Yeah, that's a great question. If there's anybody in the conference listening to this podcast, they'll probably send a comment about our field being a launching pad, which it is. There's a lot of home runs hit here. We typically get a south wind that's right out to left center field, and on certain days you don't have to get one very good to be able to get it. Now with kids having fun and things like that, yeah, I like to have fun. The funnest thing about baseball is winning, right? Um, in with that coupled with philosophy, I don't like the launch angle stuff. Um, I think it kind of puts you in a box a little bit and makes you a little one dimensional. One of the things that I'm most proud about with our offensive club this year is I believe we were top five in the country, somewhere like that, with in home runs, but we were also top five in the country in sacrifice bunts. And so for us, we want to be a very well-rounded offense. We want to be able to adjust on the fly whenever you run into an arm that's carving you up. You've got to have other tools in your tool belt to turn to. And if you're just worried about the 3-run home run and you're not getting anybody on base, and that's going to be a problem, right? And so, just being as well rounded as we possibly can, and setting our practices up for that is key.
Okay. So I'm going to take a step back for a little bit, let Terry ask some more questions. I do have one more question for you, but I'm going to wait until a little bit later to ask it.
Okay.
If we want to continue philosophy, you could ask those other ones too, because mine's usually about the rivalry stuff, which I'll bring up next. But
Yeah, go ahead and do the rivalry
right.
stuff because the only one I've got left is the Deep Dark Night.
All right, so obviously, if Chris and and by the way, Chris, I won't meet you in Dallas. I think it'd be easier to pick you up in Shreveport.
Okay.
A lot less traffic and only like 40 minutes away from the campus itself. And I
Okay.
hate driving through Dallas. So,
That works.
so going back to the scenario, we come down there to see the Tigers play. Obviously, we just don't want to know any plain old Jane game. And before I do that, shout out to the 199 people currently watching live. So thank you all for tuning in. If we're going to go to an East Texas Baptist University game, we want to see you guys against your foe because we want to see that extra motivation from your players. So if that happens, which team are we supposed to get tickets for to see East Texas Baptist University play?
Dude, that's a big time question, and I'm going to answer that the best way that I can. Okay. And one of the things that um, is really kind of a badge of honor that I think when you say what is one of the most, the biggest difference pieces in our program now versus, 10 years ago. And so for me, it's the way that we schedule. Okay. I believe in, if you're going to be the best, then you've got to constantly try to schedule the best. And whether that's us flying out to the West Coast or going somewhere in the Midwest, or paying people to come in and play. We're going to do that, and we're going to try to build up our strength of schedule as much as we possibly can. Now, to answer your question more, about our rivals, who are our guys going to get up for? They better be getting up for everybody. And because, the cat's kind of out of the bag, here of late about what we've got going on here, and everybody wants to beat us. We are everybody's biggest game. And kind of the reason we schedule the way that we do is that if my guys decide to take a day off and not show up to the yard, I want them to get punched in the face. And I want them to understand what that looks like and what that feels like. And so then we can, find ways to get better and to make those adjustments. So yeah, the best way to answer that question is, hopefully everybody's our biggest rival that we face.
Okay. So I'm going to pick up on something you said right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put my question out there. You said if you don't show up ready to play, you want to get punched in the mouth.
Mm.
So let me expand on that. You just played somebody. They beat you 39-7. Okay. Your pitchers threw 373 pitches in 7 innings because they couldn't throw a strike. They kept hitting people, and you just couldn't get anybody out. That's 370 pitches in 7 innings.
It's a lot.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're on a bus on a 2-lane highway headed back to Marshall, and you're ready to quit coaching because of that loss. Who's the one person in your phone that you're going to dial up that's going to get you refocused and say, hey, get your head back in this game and get back to business?
Well, to be honest with you, it wouldn't be a phone call. It'd be the guy sitting right behind me on the bus, and that guy's my dad. We kind of had a conversation like that not too long ago. And
if you need to show some emotion, Coach, feel free.
No,
we are
no,
judgment show here. I see it, and I see it.
Yeah. So he's retired, here the past few years, and and the guys love him, but he's been coming on trips with us for the past 4 or 5 years, and long bus trips or plane rides or whatever, and he's just been just a phenomenal piece of encouragement, and somebody that I can lean on, somebody that I can vent to, and somebody that'll kick me in the butt when I need it. And really, really grateful for him and our relationship.
So I love the answer, and I love the emotion that you felt with that answer. It truly means something to you to have your dad there with you, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Baseball has been, since I was little, baseball has kind of been our common ground. And, the relationship is always with young kids and their dads, right? It's always up and down and full of good times and bad times, but we always had baseball. And, and for us to be able to continue sharing those experiences with each other, and just extremely blessed in that aspect.
All right. Go ahead with some more questions, Terry.
The only I could think of, and I missed this question earlier, it's not so much in regards to recruiting process, but the players on your team. How far has East Texas Baptist been able to reach out as far as bringing players in, like whether it's the furthest points of the country, or has there been any, like, say, players coming in from overseas as well?
Yeah, not any international kids. Just with legislation and things like that have changed as far as finances go with international players. But especially with the transfer portal and things, we're able to expand out. California has been really good to us. With freshmen and transfers. Arizona's been really good to us. We've got a left-handed arm from the state of Washington, so that's cool. We've got a kid coming in from New Jersey this year. So yeah, wherever there are players and they want to come to East Texas Baptist, I mean, we'll bring them on.
Okay. Something I just thought of. There's a lot of religious based schools in Texas. You got Baylor, you got Texas Christian, you got Houston Baptist and Dallas Baptist and all of these schools, right? Do you have a system set up with all of these other religious affiliated schools where you can call up and say, "Hey, Kirk," talking about TCU coach Kirk
Mm,
Charlouse,
mm.
say, "I've got this guy. I think he'd be a good fit for your program. Can you come take a look at him, see about bringing him into TCU?" Or he can call you and say, "Hey, Coach Hood, I got this guy. He's not ready for D1 yet, but I think he'd be perfect at ETBU. Why don't you come get him?" Do you have a system like that set up
Mm.
down there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wouldn't say just a system set up like that with just the religious affiliated schools, but I just think just within the baseball community itself, right? Um, you know, I had mentioned a lot of our administration came from Dallas Baptist, and they were pretty instrumental in building of Horner Ballpark and working in the athletic side of things there. So, Coach Dan Hefner. There's been conversations with Coach Hefner on about certain players and things like that, the game of baseball, right? And but just very fortunate that our network here in the state of Texas is pretty big and it's pretty wide net, right? And so even though they might not be direct conversations, we can have those conversations through somebody or through somebody or through somebody else. I would say that's the best way I can answer that question.
Okay, that's an awesome answer. And since you mentioned Coach Hefner, um, I'm going to give you just a couple minutes. Shout some people out that have been impactful in your life, your wife, your dad, your mom, other coaches. Um, Take a few minutes and give some shout outs.
Wow, that's a big responsibility. I can't forget anybody. Obviously, my parents, um, my little brother, he's the head coach here at Marshall High School, and doing a phenomenal job, just grinding away. My wife, my three kids, Avon, McLean, and JC, they are my why, and why we work so hard and go about it. Coach James Valade, his head coach at Prestonwood Christian Academy, was my head coach at the University of Texas at Tyler. Taught me a lot about, well, everything that I know about baseball, everything I know about being a family man and how to intertwine the two. So he was instrumental in that. Coach Chris Ratajki, head baseball coach at Hill College, gave me my start. Um, Obviously, our administration, Dr. Blackburn, Ryan Irwin, our athletic director, Travis Wyckoff, who works primarily with University of Kansas right now, but was kind of a mental skills coach for our athletic department for a while. Was pretty instrumental in my development as a coach. But yeah, and then just all the players and the alumni, man, that have um, given their hearts to this program and to this school, and have I call them my foundation layers, man. The guys that maybe never won any rings, but have definitely been instrumental in putting this place on the map, and are always in our hearts and ingrained in our identity.
Okay, that's fantastic. What do you got for him, Terry?
Well, I always like to help as much as I can when it comes to exposure. Besides obviously doing the show, but as far as social media, is there any profiles or like whether it's your own page on X, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the case may be, as well as the team page that you'd like to mention in hopes to increase the following?
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions about our university or our baseball program, feel free to reach out to me at JRDHD20 on X. Follow our baseball page on X at ETBU Baseball. Or visit our website at goetbutigers.com.
Which I've already followed both, and thank you for the follow as well. Chris, you got to
Yeah,
catch up.
absolutely.
Looks like we have another quick comment here. Every coach has that one play, that one call that they would like to have back. Looking back on your career, what is that one you would want to have back, and what team was it against?
Man, okay, so we were in our first conference championship series. Okay, and I was playing. Um, I was coaching at ETBU. We were playing against UT Tyler, so my alma mater, and I think they were number three, number four in the country at the time, and honestly, we had them on the ropes, and we were one out away from winning the first game of the championship series, and their best hitter was coming up to the plate. I called time to go talk to the pitcher who was absolutely rolling just to make sure that we were on the same page. Um, Four pitch walk to that guy, base hit, walk off grand slam to the 9-hole hitter. If I had it to do over again, I probably never would have taken that mound visit.
Why is it every time that happens all the time? You either make the decision to go to the mound, and you go to the mound, and either you walk off and he gives up a bomb, you make the change, he gives up a bomb, or you don't go to the mound and they give up a bomb. It's always the wrong. Every single time, it's the wrong thing. Why is that?
Well, because it didn't work. That's why. If we would have shut them down and won that ball game, then it had been a totally different story. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas, right? But there's also a lot of things that you had nothing to do with that the guys just absolutely crushed, and so I'll give and take that. So
okay. So want to give a shout out to the 233 people watching. Absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Did you know you had that kind of following, Coach Hood, that 233 people would be watching a podcast with you doing an interview with two baseball junkies that just want to grow the game?
Did I have an idea? No, I had no clue. I knew I had a couple of folks back at home that were going to tune in, but hopefully, and again, like baseball is my vessel. Our job is to go and to win disciples and to carry as many people into the gates of the kingdom as we possibly can. And we're very fortunate here at ETBU to show off some nice shiny things, to be able to help accomplish that. But at the end of the day, it's about impacting people. It's about loving people. And I'm just the lucky guy that gets to use the game of baseball to do that. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and if that message reaches you, then I've done my job.
Yes, sir. Are there any organizations on campus affiliated with ETBU, such as Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Catholic Youth Organization, anything of that nature that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Braden Hodge, who's one of our pitchers here on staff, he actually leads FCA here on campus. And then, of course, our Baptist student ministry does a fantastic job of, um, you know, putting our kids in situations to grow. But again, just our athletic staff in general, our administration, big time shout out and bunch of love to all those folks.
Take it away, Terry.
Well, again, Coach Hood, I'd like to thank you for coming on and telling us your story and everything East Texas Baptist University. I mean, that could be one of the ones I actually visit, since it's more of a manageable drive than,
Yeah.
let's say, when we had the coach of Delaware on the show. Because I mean,
Well, come on,
I have
man.
a bigger car than before, so
Well, and
Now,
I'm
come on,
serious
Terry.
about that flat iron too.
yeah, that's true.
Come on, Terry. You know we're both going to drive out to Hawaii to visit Rich Hill, right?
Yeah, drive onto the boat that's going to take us there.
No, that flat iron down there in Marshall, Texas, sounds really delicious at this point. For real.
If that happens, before we go, we got a Yankee fan here.
Thank you very much.
Great person. Everything I've talked to her about, very wonderful person. So before you go, if you wouldn't mind, after the show, if you stick around, I have a couple questions I usually like to ask off air. Like I said, it won't be long. I know you're going to get back to your family, enjoy the rest of the evening with them, and thank them on our behalf for letting you come over to the office and do this interview, and then go back. So, but we are thankful for you. God bless you, your family, and your team. And, look forward to, hopefully I make that trip over there. Because like I said, I wouldn't mind going out where it's a little greener than where I'm at right now. So,
yeah, no, guys, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about our program and our institution, man. This was it's a phenomenal opportunity, and I just want to thank you guys for everything that you're doing for collegiate athletics. You guys keep grinding away. If there's anything that we can ever do for you, please reach out.
Right. I appreciate that, Coach. Again, Terry already said it for me. Thank you for coming on, sharing your story with us. We like to be a voice behind the scene where people learn about the people that they're watching. College baseball, college football, basketball. Baseball is what birthed the podcast, right? I always wanted to be a sports writer. Never followed through because life happens. Podcasting is my way to affect baseball, and it has grown from there to cover all sports. I appreciate you coming on. We love your story. We'll definitely be following you. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night, but we'll be back here. Same great time, 6 p.m. Central. Same great day, Sunday evening, next week with
real quick. Oh yeah, I'll get that right now.
He's gonna stop me in my tracks here.
Yeah, don't close out the show yet. I usually like to do the announcements. So next week we're gonna be in the Division III world of college baseball. However, we're gonna take our talents over to, and we're hoping he's there. I'm gonna get in touch with him this week, to Louisville, Kentucky, over at Spalding University for Coach Larry Owens.
Okay. That sounds like a fun one. Always love learning about other schools. I have heard of Spalding University, but we'll be back next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at the Golden Broom Podcast on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. But until then, y'all have a great night. God bless. And I'm on my way to the couch. Y'all have a good week.
Thank you, guys.
on the diamond where they play, sweeping competition every day.